minutes out from RoofCon 2024. Pretty exciting. This is our third year in a row doing RoofCon, and Hunter and his team they do a respectable job, man. I mean, the trade show game is tough, right? So these people, everybody's a critic, right? Everybody's a Monday morning quarterback. We're going down as 2024. It's October 21st. We're doing setup tomorrow, the 22nd. The show's the 23rd through the 25th. This is going to be an interesting year. I really don't know what to expect because, a couple of hurricanes just really mollywopped Florida. I mean, Helene was here maybe a month ago or so, kind of ripped up the northern part of the state into South Georgia. We saw a lot of down billboards on our commute down from Atlanta. Just a lot of storefront damage. It's sad. And then, 2 weeks on the heels of that, less than 2 weeks ago, Milton just came through and just ripped the I-4 corridor to shreds, man. I mean, from Tampa, I lived in Tampa 33 years, and from Tampa all the way to the outside of Daytona and Melbourne and that area, it just kind of, kerplunked the state of Florida. It was rough. I don't know what to expect this year. I don't know how many contractors are actually going to come. 2 years ago, there was a storm. They said it was a little bit down. There was materially more contractors, I felt like, last year being a vendor here. And now this is year 3. So we're going to make the best of it, right? If one person comes to our booth, if 10,000 people come by our booth, we're going to make the best of it. We're going to spend time with them. We're going to talk to them, get to know them very genuinely. We don't sell at our booth. I know a lot of people are trying to sell right there on the spot. We don't really do that. We have some giveaways that are cool, but what I wanted to talk about today for you roofing company owners is the power and education through attending trade shows, right? And really understanding how to navigate a trade show. Here's a couple of things I've seen being in the industry almost 5 years now from a roofing perspective is people pay to go party. That's one problem, right? So tickets are expensive to the trade shows. If you want to see the speakers, if you're just going for the expo, you can get it for free, but people want to pay to go party, and that's a shame. It should be, in my opinion, the attendees of trade shows should be the vigorous company owners, and there's a lot of serious ones too, but it should be the vigorous company owners that really want to get better. If I'm going to invest $897 for general admission to take my team of 10 people to a trade show, you're talking about that's $9,000 in tickets to get them there to see the speakers, see the breakout sessions. Call it, another $4,000 or $5,000 in travel accommodations, whether you're flying or driving in, staying in a hotel, another few $1,000s on food. It adds up to a material investment, I know, because I take my team down, right? So how do you maximize a trade show? First of all, don't listen to the critics. Don't listen to all the people that run their mouth on social media. There's several different influencers and unfluencers or whatever you want on social media in the roofing space, and they all have an opinion. Everybody's got their opinion on what's good, what's not, what good should look like, who's putting it on, who they're high on that year, who maybe said something about them negatively or disagreed with them. All of a sudden they're shunned. So don't get your information about what trade shows are going to be successful and not successful based on the sole opinions of influencers. A bunch of roofing contractors that have come, that's different, right? Get their opinion on how was last year. What do you think about this year? Are you going to return? What did you like? What did you not like? Secondly, go in with the mindset that you're going to school. You're not going to party, right? So have pens and paper available. Be recording these different speakers. Take copious notes. And then when you get back to whatever city you live in, break it down with your team. You have a lot of content that you can really digest in your team meetings. So if you're lacking in your team meetings on how to keep it fresh, break down some of the things you learn at RoofCon or Roofing Process Conference or all of these different association expos. We went to FRSA's expo last year. We're going to return in 2025 as well, summer 25. It was a great show this year. It was really, really good. There was good attendance. There was good vendors, etc. Right? RCAT, Roofing Contractor Association in Texas, they would do a good one. Western States Expo does a good one. But you as a company owner have to set the precedent, first of all, of what this is going to be. Hey, my team, I'm paying for you to go. You are going to go and take this seriously. We're going to have fun. We can party in the evenings. We can go do Top Golf. We can do these different dinners. But when we're there, we need to be locked in, right? This isn't go out and get hammered and then show up to the trade show at noon and leave at 2 and then start drinking again. We have a lot of good, powerful educational moments at these trade shows. So much so that there's probably Deshaun Bryan of Roof Hustlers and myself. We're speaking in a breakout, how to knock out your competition. It's sales and marketing tips to set you apart, right? We're doing one breakout. There's probably 6 to 8 different breakout speakers running at the 11 o'clock hour, just like us. And they're running breakout sessions at 9, 10, and 11 every day. So you take that into consideration, right? You've got 6 different breakouts an hour, call it. 3 hours a day, they're running breakout sessions. So that's 18 a day over 3 days. So now you're talking about, 54 breakout sessions. Plus, they have a ton of keynotes in the afternoon. So one of the things that you can do to actually maximize your attendance at a trade show, first of all, do your homework, plan. Think about what challenges you have in your business. If it's on sales and marketing and you're going to be at RoofCon this year, come see Deshaun and myself. If it's on proposals, then go see a breakout about how to get proposals converted. If it's on insurance or legal aspects of your business that you need to understand, then go see the insurance adjusters or the lawyers that are speaking in their breakout sessions, get their contact information, take copious notes, but plan your days out as though you're going to school, right? So session 1, we need to be in a breakout at 9, 10, 11. We're going to eat lunch as a team. We're going to go back and we're going to walk the expo floor. And we're going to actually talk to the vendors. We're not going to shun the vendors because we're afraid of being sold. We're going to talk to them and learn about what they do, what they offer, what sets them apart. There's a lot of marketing agencies at these expos. I get it, guys. I'm one of probably 12 that'll be here this year. It's oversaturated. So then it can be discouraging. Well, who do I believe? Who do I buy from? Get to know them. Trust your BS meter. If you're there looking for, the latest technology in roof climbing boots, talk to a couple of different options. If you're looking for best practices or you're considering a new shingle manufacturer, talk to Atlas, they're our partner, and then talk to the other ones, right? But talk to multiple people just like you would to date a girlfriend when you're finding your wife, or vet an attorney when you're actually talking to an attorney for your company. If you did it right, you didn't just hire the first law firm that said, yeah, I'm an attorney, I can represent you. Doesn't mean that you made a smart purchase, right? Or a smart hire. So plan your days accordingly, have them full. They should be action-packed. Your team should be exhausted, not because they're hungover at the end of the day. They should be exhausted because their mind is blown. They have had so much information, good, valuable information poured into them for 6, 7, 8 hours during that day that they're exhausted. They need to go take an energy drink or have a coffee in the afternoon before they can go out to dinner and hang out because they're getting educated, right? So the purpose of the good roofing conferences, when you're looking to vet, are what are the educational moments, first of all? Not who are the fancy speakers. I mean, I've seen a lot of great speakers. I saw John Maxwell and Tim Tebow at previous, and they have powerful messages that are inspiring, but who are the people that are saturated in our industry? Who are the experts in our industry that are really going to give us valuable information? That's how I would start the process of selecting what conferences I'm going to go to. Also, there's a lot of them. You don't need to go to every single conference. You shouldn't be going to a conference every other month or once a quarter. Like, stay in your business, focus on your business when there's a conference or 2 a year. So what I always say, a good best practice is, if you go to one in the summer, go to one in the winter. If you go to one in the fall, go to one in the spring. They're really good about remotivating your team, reinvigorating your team. I get reinvigorated when I come to these, right? Sometimes the day-to-day can wear you out. Customer interactions, sales calls, whatever you do in your business, it can be tiring to do the same thing over and over and over, day in and day out, week in and week out. Mixing it up at a trade show is sometimes a nice little reprieve that can re-inspire you. But the first thing that you need to do is pick the appropriate trade shows for you. Could be a logistical consideration, right? If you're in California, You may not want to come all the way to Orlando. You may want to go to the Western states or the Texas conferences throughout the course of the year, or vice versa. But pick your conferences, plan them out for the year, get them paid for, get your lodging paid for in advance so you're not paying this premium rates, get your flights booked in advance so you get the best deals. Really commit to going, and then plan your days out accordingly, right? So that's the biggest thing to do when you're going to a trade show, is maximize your days by having a plan. What is that old saying? If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail, that kind of thing. So plan accordingly. And then secondly, make sure that you keep your team dialed in. You can have a lot of fun without it just being a big booze fest or recreational, all that kind of stuff. Don't do that. Be smart, be a good representative of your actual company when you're out here. And then lastly, talk to the vendors. Just talk to them. If you are only getting sold because you approach a vendor, it doesn't mean that the next booth or the booth down the hall is going to be just like that. Get to know people and trust your BS meter. Because, I always say, I'm a man of faith, that God gave us all a BS meter. It's called your gut. Trust it, right? If somebody's bullshitting you, you should know it. You should be able to pick up on that. So if they're just trying to sell you, hard pressing you for appointments, trying to pitch you something, I get it. But don't bucket everybody in. That's just like saying, hey, if a homeowner had a really bad experience with a shady door knocker, and then your professional company comes around a month later, they are bucketing you in that same ecosphere, and they're kind of aligning you or stigmatizing you just like the last company, right? They're not even giving you a chance. So give the vendors a chance, because there are a lot of good ones out here. There's a couple of good agencies that are here in addition to us. So we refer a lot to Hook Agency. They always do some fun stuff at the trade shows. They refer back to us when somebody's not a good fit for them or in a different market. So there's good vendors, and then there's vendors that are just there for the money grab. They're just trying to get your money, and those guys don't stick around long. So get to know the vendors, get to talk to them, get to talk to their team, look at the professionalism of their booth. Are they really set up for success? Can they answer your questions? Do they have multiple people there that know what they're doing? Or do they just have the notorious booth babes that are sitting there to look pretty, to attract you over, to shove something down your throat that you don't really need? There's a couple of tips I would suggest that kind of came to mind as I'm driving to RoofCon, and I'm really excited about it here, to help maximize the day, right? So plan your days out, make sure that you're equipped to take in the information. And then lastly, make sure you have a plan to discern it, right? So don't just walk around with your bag and get a bunch of promo squish balls and pins and, Yeti cups, and then go back and put baby in the corner and just throw it away. Really have a plan to unpack the knowledge and the information that you're able to get from these trade shows, because reading a book is only the first step, but executing what you've learned from the knowledge within that book, that's where you really champion your business. That's where you really find a lot of success and grow. And that's really how you maximize these trade shows. So have a good, solid plan to unpack, roll out the information that you learn, and don't try to bite everything off at one time, right? If you get a lot of great information, you can have a year's worth of action items that you have to do in 2025 coming out of one trade show. But you need to plan how you're going to roll this out, because if you try to do everything at once, you're not going to get anything done. And adversely, if you just kind of compartmentalize it because it's overwhelming, you're not going to get anything done. So EOS, they're always at the trade shows. Love talking to those guys. I've been a part of several agencies that implemented EOS. One of the things they do is they have what they call quarterly rocks or quarterly goals. This is where you say, okay, hey, here this is the biggest thing for my department heads. Each department head is going to give me, and they're going to work on it this quarter. So sales would work on one rock or one quarterly project. Marketing would work on one. Operations or finance would work on one. And then you come together. You could use that same kind of mindset without adopting their whole program. Just think about, okay, look, we got a lot of great things we could do next year. Here are the 4 biggest takeaways that I think will help us find the most success. So I want to roll these out, and I'm going to put them in a pragmatic order that makes sense to me as the company owner. This is the most important and most critical thing. So we're going to do this in Q1 right out of the gate. We've got to address this. Q2, second most important one, but it's going to be the biggest revenue driver. So we're going to actually implement that in Q2 to see how much additional revenue we can capitalize on this year, and then so forth, right? So plan your days, plan your trips, don't get wasted every single day, right? It's okay to go out and get hit, have a little fun, but it should not be a big party. It should be a big educational opportunity. Get to know your vendors. And then lastly, plan your rollout of implementation and make sure that you're actually executing on it. I just heard Kevin O'Leary talking about Musk potentially joining not Trump's cabinet if Trump gets in, but how he wants to offer his expertise in cost cutting. But one of the things that Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank said that kind of tied this all together is he said, hey, Elon Musk is not just a visionary, he's an executor. Everything that he rolls out, as crazy of an idea as it can be, right? Right now we have $30,000 robot cars. $30K, you can get a robot car that drives you everywhere, talks to you, and does everything but wipe your ass. I mean, it's crazy. So, but the way that Elon Musk is different from a lot of people is he's able to execute. And the reason he's able to execute on these plans is not just because he has a lot of smart people on his team, but because he's an executionist. He knows how to roll things out and take something from a visionary's idea to the bricklayer that can actually build it and make it come to life. So if you go to the trade shows and you get all of this great information and then you go back home and you don't do anything with it, you wasted a bunch of time and money and effort. So have that plan. That's critical. That's a critical step at the end to roll it out. And I just want to encourage you guys to have a very successful 2025. If you've not gotten to trade shows before, book one next year. They're reasonably affordable to actually get there and attend with your team. Find one that's going to be educational for you. Find one that's going to be meaningful. And then take all that you learn and take all of the inspiration that you can get out of one of those, really start implementing in your business. And if you make one small improvement that can have significant impacts or a significant result to your revenue over the course of the year, it's money well spent. And that's how you capitalize on your ROI from a trade show.